Thank you so much for stopping by, people. Really appreciate it. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got Sugar Sean O'Malley in the house. Before we start things off, man, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. I know I'm not a reporter, I'm not a journalist, I'm just a dude playing video games online, and it means the world to me that you're taking the time to do this. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to our boy, our mutual friend or whatever, Warlike,
Yeah,
hooking this up, set this up. So yeah, absolutely.
dude, it came together so freaking fast. Like, to say that I am not ready will be an understatement. So if I sound a little bit weird, that's why. Because like
No, you're good.
when I asked to talk to you, like I thought it would be something that will maybe happen down the road, and then all of a sudden, yeah, Sean O'Malley said yes. I'm like, what the fuck, really?
Yeah, let's go.
So
I got that Twitch fam. It's the Twitch fam.
awesome,
Twitch
awesome.
fam. We got it. We stay close.
Awesome. All right. So let's start with this. The last time we saw you, that was I believe that was UFC 252, right? That was against Marlon Chito Vera, right?
You,
Now, so here's the question that I have regarding that fight. So we know how the fight played out. Going into that fight, me as well as a lot of people figured that was a fight that was in the bag for you. Skill wise, I just don't feel like you two are on the same level. Striking wise, everything considered. And during the fight, that was pretty evident, right? You were moving really well. You were kicking the shit out of his legs. I mean, you caught him with like 3 or 4 solid leg kicks, teeps to the body. You switched southpaw, fire off a roundhouse to the body. You were doing really good work on the feet. And then he lands a random leg kick out of nowhere, and your leg gets fucked up. And then from there, you're limping, and then it just snowballs, and that's it. So here's the question that I have. Someone on your level, the striker of your caliber, who is undefeated, going into a fight against a man that you're 100% confident against. Can you tell us what the feeling is like? Not just losing, but losing like that. Because that was just such a fluke, right?
yeah. I mean, the calf kicks. You watched the fights last night. You watched, pretty much any fights now. Every weekend, those calf kicks are a huge, huge problem. It sucks. I would have rather almost went out, actually getting calf kicked, and he was saying that was a calf kick. He threw a calf kick, and it's hard to check a calf kick. It's hard to get your shin actually all the way fucking turn around to check the kick. So one way is to pull out, not be there. They kick, you pull out, and that's what I was doing. And his toe. I've watched the fight over and over, and it was literally the end of his toe. His big toe hit my peroneal nerve, and it just shut my leg down. What are you gonna do? That's fighting. So that it sucked. The camp was good. Everything was good. The year was great. Coming off 2 first-round knockouts, going into a big fight, co-main event on a huge card. Fucking felt unstoppable. But dude, I've been in this sport for 10 plus years. I know anything can fucking happen. Luckily for me, not a lot of crazy shit's happened against me, towards me, stuff like that. But I've watched the sport long enough. I've been in the sport long enough. I know shit like that can happen. And it happened. A lot of people were thinking, you watch the fight. I watched the fight, like I said, a couple times, and I was kicking the shit out of his legs. I don't think he had hit me. He hadn't hit me.
No.
Until he fucked up my leg. But I blitzed him, and I went to step back. I had him covering up, like he does, just fucking covering up, and I stepped back. My foot just completely gave out. He got on top, landed a couple nice elbows, and it was over. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not bitter about it. It is what it is. That's fucking fighting. So
yeah. So we've seen that injury happen before. I think that's the same injury that happened to Henry Cejudo. I don't know I think it was the fight versus Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, right? So
the second one.
Yeah. So what does that feel like? Like when your leg is given out, does it hurt? Are you in pain? Or is it just, you just don't feel the legs at all?
Well, 2 years before that, I broke that same foot. Like had a major surgery on that foot when I fought Andre Soccer Mom at UFC 222. I fucked that foot up real bad, and it felt similar. Going into the fight, right in the back, right before we walked out, I sat down. I was having my coach Brandon. I was like, "Hey, will you loosen up these fucking foot wraps?" Because it felt so tight.
Yeah.
And then we got in there, and it just shuts off shuts off your whole foot. It feels like it's just like tingling, like there's knives in it, but it just doesn't work. It's fucking crazy. It's hard to explain, but I don't know if it would have came back or if the ankle wraps were too tight, if it just completely shut it off. I know in Demetrius and Henry's fight, his looked like it came back came back to life. I know it happened to Jamie Varner a couple of years back, and then Michael Chandler happened to him against Brett Primus too. So it's definitely crazy considering how many leg kicks get thrown and landed in fights. For that to happen like that, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you landed like 3 or 4 solid ones on him, and then he lands one, and your leg gets completely fucked, right? Rewatching that it's like, what the hell, right?
It was his toe too. It's like it's just like his toe takes this perfect spot, the nerve right on there. It's hard to land. I mean, it happens so many times, leg kick, but for it to land on that nerve. I mean, look at Jimmy Rivera last night. Took about 50 leg kicks. Tough motherfucker, still coming forward, still throwing bombs. But his shit didn't just go. It's crazy.
Right. Now, during the fight, as when you noticed that, okay, there's something wrong here.
Yep.
I was noticing you looking up at the clock, like you were trying to, maybe run down the clock, get to your corner, see what you can do. Hindsight being 2020, right? What do you think you could have done in that first round to maybe slow things down and not, have it end the way it did?
I think, dude, I was doing good. I was circling up against the cage. I remember dragging my foot because I couldn't lift it. I didn't have any motion. I was dragging my foot against the cage, waiting for him to shoot. I was kind of hoping he would take me down. But fuck, I don't know. The thing I shouldn't have done, probably, but it's so hard to when I'm in there. I'm in such instinct mode. I'm not in my mind a lot. It's a dangerous spot to be in your mind. So I was just kind of being an instinct, and I blitz forward like I do when I'm not injured. Right. And I shouldn't have probably done that. I should have probably, my foot wasn't in any spot to be moving forward like that. And so I think going, if I could go back and not go forward, blitz forward, maybe stay patient up against the cage. I was doing fine. I knew he was throwing a couple little head kicks. He wasn't landing anything. You were blocking him. He wasn't landing anything. Yeah. I felt like even on one foot, I was still dotting him up. It gave out on me.
Okay, man. Yeah. Just thinking right back to that fight and the way that it played out. And now your next fight against Thomas Almeida is against someone that, you would describe him as a Muay Thai fighter, right? Like that's how you would describe him. Okay. Coming up right now, knowing what happened, you already gave us a little tidbit on what you would do to deal with the calf kick. We saw what it did to Conor McGregor. It's like the new girl in town right now, calf kicks. Everyone's throwing them, right? So there's a high possibility that Thomas Almeida is going to want to hit you with a few of those in the next one, right? That would be reasonable. Okay. So is the game plan to just be not try to check it, not turn the knee in, just to completely be nowhere near the kick, pull the leg back and have it miss? Is that what the game plan is?
It's hard. It's so hard to say until you get in there with somebody. You got to really feel, you got to feel it out. You got to see what they have. It's going to be I'm going to go in there and process what he's got, what I got, and we'll see. But the plan is to fucking land these on his face. That's it. Gotcha. Whether he's trying to kick my leg, I'm going to be trying to put bombs on his chin. So
gotcha. And
we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and speaking of bombs, before that last one, your fight against Eddie Wylan, like the thing that I really wanted to talk to you about regarding that fight, the KO was amazing. The uppercut feint into the cross, all of that was dope. But what I don't understand is, dude, how are you so fucking calm in there? Where does that come from? Like, even after you got the KO, like a lot of us would get a beautiful KO like that and lose our minds. You knock them out and you just walk away like, just another day at the office. Like, where does that come from? The calmness and that you have in there.
Yeah, I think, the calmness is when I'm preparing for war, battle, whatever. I want to be calm in the mind. I don't want to be, too excited, too laid back. I think calm's a good approach to war. Mm-hmm. So I think kind of just, getting into that mindset before the fight. I feel like that's the best mindset to be in for me to approach a fight. So just being calm and following my breath, just be simple things like that, not being in my head too much. And then, I knocked out Eddie. It was beautiful, it was sweet, but I don't know if it's just, if that's what I do after I knock someone out, I just walk off, or if I knew Eddie was tough. He wasn't the hardest opponent in the world. He's not the best. He's definitely, he's not a top 10 guy. So after I beat him, it was sweet, but it was, in my mind, that's what should have happened. I'm better than him.
Gotcha.
I expected to go out there and knock him out. So maybe, I beat maybe a better guy, someone way better. That might change. The emotion might change more, but just business. I got to get in there, get out. Hopefully no injuries, and that's what how I would like it to go always, but doesn't always work out.
And you're so clean with your striking. And then for me to realize that you didn't actually start off with any traditional like martial arts background. You didn't start off with karate or taekwondo or Muay Thai or anything like that. So dude, how the hell do you get so good? Not only are the feints on point, your shot selection on point, but you can fight from both stances seamlessly. Like where does that come from? Considering that you did not grow up doing this?
That I don't have a perfect answer for you. I think it's just being an athlete. I was an athlete my whole life, played basketball, soccer, football, baseball, all year round. We were doing something, and I just, became a good athlete. I have some good genes. So once I started kickboxing, I'd hit mitts a little bit. Like when I first started, I think I started boxing, would hit mitts a little bit, but for the most part, we were sparring. It was just getting in there and sparring. And I wasn't necessarily told, don't switch stances, don't do this, don't do that. So I just kind of developed my own style, switching stances, throwing random shit. And then I, got better at what I did. And it just works. I don't know. I think the best answer is just I let my body do what it wants and just be athletic.
Gotcha. Kind of like what Bruce Lee says, right? It's like, take what's useful, discard what's not. You're water in there is the best way that I can say
the goal. That's the fucking goal. That's the ideal. Being water in there is what you want.
Where would you rank yourself when you take a look at the strikers in the UFC, the Israels, the Wonder Boys? Like, where would you rank yourself amongst those guys? Be honest.
Yeah, MMA striking is so different. It's such a different sport. It's not kickboxing. It's not boxing. Like it's its own skill set. Like a good kickboxer come into MMA and not do good kickboxing in an MMA fight. It's just so much different. I think I have really, really good MMA striking.
Gotcha.
I think Max Holloway's, the performance he had against Kelvin Cater, you got to say he's up there. That was just a beautiful performance. Israel Adesanya probably has to be number one right now. The way he's been putting out these dudes, he's got to be up there. Max, Izzy, I think are definitely up there, and I'd like to think I'm up there too.
Gotcha.
But I have to go out there and prove it to other people and to myself. I can't, when they're beating the top dudes in the world the way they're beating them, they're they have that above me. So I got to go out there and beat good guys to claim that.
Gotcha. Now, you just mentioned Izzy a little bit. Of course, he's set to face Jan Łachowicz in like a few days now. He's moving up in weight. Then everyone's talking about the Polish power. Knowing what you know, being a guy that's fleet-footed, a guy that's nimble, super fast, do you think the weight advantage is going to play a factor at all? Like, who are you going for in that fight, especially if it stays more on the feet?
Fuck, I think if it stays on the feet, I think Izzy's gonna piece him up. But it literally takes one shot in 25 minutes for it to change the fight.
Gotcha.
But I'd like to see Izzy win. Obviously a huge fan of Israel.
Huge fan. Yeah.
I would love to see. We have similar striking styles.
Yes.
And I would like to see him, continue to be at the top with his style. That I feel like I have a similar style at bantamweight to keep winning. So I think it'd be cool to see Izzy win. And I think, if it's a kickboxing fight, he has all the tools to beat him.
Okay, beautiful. Now, your next fight against Thomas Almeida, that's another one that just on paper, in my opinion, I mean, I think that's a fairly straightforward fight. Thomas Almeida, he can be a little bit one dimensional. If he's got Muay Thai and he sticks with that Muay Thai, hands up, he's plodding, moving forward, looking to, get into brawls. What is the biggest thing for you to worry about in that fight? Without giving away game plans, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I never want to be in a brawl. I never want to sit in the pocket and trade shot for shot. I'm going to be on the outside, picking him apart, punching him in the face. He's going to punch, and I'm not going to be there. That's always the goal going into any fight that I ever go into. I don't like getting hit. I don't want to get hit. I'm going to try to avoid getting hit. And that's what I do well at. I do really good at hitting and not getting hit. So I'm going to go in there and if he wants to make it a kickboxing fight, I'm down with that. Beautiful. I think I don't think he's going to try to shoot. I just don't think he will. And if he does, he'll find out soon, like fast. He's not gonna be able to take me down. So, I think, it's gonna be a kickboxing fight. I'm gonna go in there, hit him and not get hit. That's the plan.
Do you think you stop him?
I do. I think 15 minutes in there with me, I'm gonna get him out of there. Absolutely. I just feel, I hit hard and I'm accurate and I hit him on the chin. So I think I'm going to get him out of there.
Beautiful. Now, if you get past him, especially in spectacular fashion, how many times do you want to fight this year?
I'm always looking at least 3. Three is kind of became the 3 last year was a good number. Mm-hmm. 3 this year would be awesome. But if it's 2, I won't be up too mad. If it's 4, I'll be jacked. So 2, 3, 4, any number, any of those.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, dude, at how many times we can get you in there, as long as we can get you in there, like, I'm game. You're honestly one of my favorite fighters. And Thanks, a lot of times, for sure, a lot of times when I do fighter showcases with you and I'm using your character in EA Sports UFC 4, I always talk about how, you have a very unique style. And not just your style, you're very recognizable. You're the type of person that, when it comes from your hair, the way you do your hair, to the tattoos on your chest, the way you switch stances, the attacks that you use. I feel like that's such a very important aspect of being a fighter, to be able to stand out. Because a lot of people they all look the same, right? They all just look the same. So is that something that mentally, going into these fights, the way you color your hair and everything, is that something that you specifically wanted to make sure that you do, which is, I want to stand out against everyone else in the UFC? Is that something you really try to do?
Yeah, I've before I was even in the UFC, I kind of had this plan in my head. Like, I gotta be different. I have to be different. I can't be, you can make a lot of money in the UFC just by winning fights, not promoting yourself, not getting sponsors outside, not, doing whatever. But for whatever reason, ever since I was a little dude, I'm like, I want to be just stupid rich. I want to have more money than to know what to do with, have all my family just take care of. And the way to do that is just be different. I got to be different. I got to do the hair, I'm getting paid, the amount I'm getting paid because of not just because of the performances I'm putting on, but because of I'm bringing in views. I am. Gotcha. The UFC knows that.
Yeah.
And I think, but first of all, I have to be putting on the performances. Without the performances, without the knockouts, without the actual skill, it doesn't fucking matter what kind of hair I have. I gotta do what I gotta do inside the cage. And I've always known that, and I've always, I train religiously. Like, it's just part of my life now. So getting better is not an issue. I'm always doing that, but being able to stand out, the hair, the outfits used to be fun when we had media and shit, but we don't really got that too much anymore.
Right.
So we'll just keep doing. We got a dope idea for the hair this fight.
You gonna tell us?
Yeah, no, I can't. It's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise.
Okay.
It's gonna be sweet though.
All right, looking forward to that. Now, last question, and then I'm gonna let you go, bro. I really appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me your prediction for this upcoming fight card? Give me the title fights.
Oh, okay. I'm going with Izzy. The Jan and Sterling fight, man, that's such a tricky fight. I've been watching them, both their last fights, both their finishes, everything UFC's putting on YouTube right now. Mm-hmm. I'm watching it. Huge fan of both of them. Honestly, like, those dudes are killers. It's sweet that they're in my division. It's such a fun division. It's so hard for me to say it. I don't know if Sterling's gonna be able to take him down.
Right.
if he takes him down, I think Sterling, he gets the job done.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't take him down, I'm not sleeping on his hands either. I know he throws some wild shit. Peter's super fucking calculated. Fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna say Sterling.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
It's just a toss up, man.
Okay. And then next one is Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
You think?
Honestly,
I've never Megan can get it done? Fight. No.
I've seen some of the highlights. I don't know. Amanda's gonna be hard to beat, man. She's a fucking animal. But Megan looks like a big girl. She looks strong. You know, she's I don't know. I've never really watched too much of her fights, but it's hard to go against Amanda right now. She's just on another level, I feel like.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, man. That should be it. Just again, really, really from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, sir.
It means that you're the very first fighter I've interviewed. And I could not have asked for a better person to interview. You're cool as fuck. You're chill as hell. And I really, really appreciate this. Thank you. And good luck. Yeah, good luck on your next one.
Appreciate you. You have a good one, bro.
You too. Peace.